Yeah, do you mind?
Yeah. Why don't you hit record to the cloud and let's see where it ends up at and
Sure.
where I can find it from.
All right, ready? I'll just hit it and we'll start from there.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna try now. With the second overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders selected Jayden Daniels. Jayden freaking Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner. This is an electric player, the best pure passer in the draft, a guy that can beat you with his legs. And Adam Peters says, sucks the soul out of the defense. Let's have a podcast. What up, everybody? It's JP Finley. It's Beltway Football, brought to you by Oarsman Automotive of Virginia. Ride with them. We do. I literally just drove home for Timestamp Guy. It's 12:59 a.m. I guess it's April 26th now. I should text my sister. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Bonnie.
Oh, crap. My brother's birthday was yesterday, and I didn't text him because I'm
you're
a
a
bad
jerk.
brother.
You are. I'm joined by the big man, Mitch Tischler. Mitch, for months and months, we've been saying it's going to be Daniels. It was Daniels. I don't think this was a very hard decision because I think you can make the argument he was the best player in the draft, but he was certainly the second. And when Peters talked, they got their guy. I think Commanders fans should be ecstatic. I'm sure there are the psychos out there that will still have complaints. Ideally, that dissipates. We're going to play Peters at the end of this, I think. We'll play Daniels, too, who was awesome when we talked to him. There was none of the whatever the nonsense, whatever the contrived stuff that emerges over the course of 3-4 months of the draft process. I don't think any of that is real. Daniel seemed ecstatic. Peter seemed ecstatic. Peter said it was unanimous across the building. I think they did the best they could with the number 2 overall pick. We'll talk about the trading back and all that later, but folks should be really, really excited about Jayden. Big man, I poured a cocktail. I don't know if you did. This is something, the answer to QBX. Nobody knows if this is the answer, but damn, it might be. Cheers.
Cheers, bud. I did pour myself a little drink there. Listen, Jayden Daniels was the best quarterback in college football last year, bar none, and he won the Heisman.
Player in college football.
Yeah, which met it out there. I mean, I said on a couple podcasts ago that Caleb Williams to Chicago was a done deal. The first consequential pick of the draft was the Commanders, and I think that's part of the reason there was so much noise because no one knew what they were going to do. And hats off to Adam Peters and Dan Quinn and everyone in that building for keeping it as quiet as they did, because they did a pretty incredible job of keeping it quiet. Last week when we talked to Adam Peters, they said they still were finalizing the decision. When we talked to him today, he said, he'd been their guy for a long time, and it would have taken something extraordinary for them to trade out. And that extraordinary offer never came. And, Adam Peters walked into the press conference room today and said, "Hey, how you guys doing? Not as good as us. We got Jayden Daniels." And to me,
he was on cloud 9.
Yeah, that was kind of like a cocky little, excited GM who just ran his first draft board, just ran his first draft, and came away with a player that they wanted to come away with from the beginning.
I thought Peters addressed the size concerns. He's like, look, man, we're going to coach him to get down, but we don't want to take away his toughness and his competitiveness. And I love the line. He's like, yeah, he took some hits, but he always got up. We don't question his toughness. We don't question his durability. I asked him about did Daniels ever let you know that he didn't want to come here? He was like, no, I never once heard that in the process. I firmly believe that the kid's going to want to go wherever he gets drafted because there's $40 million on the line and the chance to be a starting NFL quarterback. Listen, man, people criticized us throughout. I thought when they signed Mariota, it was a clear sign they were going to get Daniels. When they traded Howell, like all those things led to this moment. I think you got an electric playmaker with the number 2 pick, and I just I think this is a slam dunk. I think it's what they should have done, and it's what they did. I think Commanders fans should be really excited. I'm excited to watch this dude. I mean, think about the quarterback play we've seen, and all of a sudden, it's must see. Who knows what it'll look like? And I think, dude, the way he gets through his progressions, Peter's talked about that. Um, I just think there's so much to like here. I think I had a quarterback coach. Maybe I told this on the pod already, but I had a quarterback coach I was texting with that's in the AFC. I was like, what do you think, Drake versus Jayden? He's like, with Drake, if everything goes right, you really could have a 10, 12-year starter that you contend with. But he said with Cliff and Jayden, it's gasoline on a fire. Like, I just think, I think this thing can work maybe right away. Now, left tackle's a problem. They didn't address it. But you're going to have problems. Like, not everything's going to be great, especially in year one of a recalibration. I think they crushed it. And there's not a ton of surprise. There's no surprise, honestly. Like, I had to pre-write a story for Channel 4 for NBCWashington.com, I guess. And I only pre-wrote Daniels. And I was kind of joking around with some of the folks in the media room, like how many stories did they pre-write? And it was the people that I know and trust. It was all one story, right? And
yeah, I mean,
I
think the most important thing that you said about the hits and the size is the fact that he got up, every time in the SEC, and he's playing, guys who were first round picks in the NFL, guys who are going to go all through this NFL draft, not any kind of lesser competition. And to me, I mean, you guys will see it on the Beltway Football TV show on Monumental Sports Network, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Both airings there. But the way that Adam Peters' face lit up as he was talking about Jayden Daniels was pretty cool. I mean, he's a pretty subdued guy, at least in our dealings with him so far. And to see him as animated as he was, I think was important. And he got asked about, Cliff Kingsbury and that offense. And, I loved his answer about how Cliff is all in on this and, loves some of the different things that he can do with Jayden that, kind of compare a little bit to what they did with Kyler. And, you hope that, just like we talked with Dan Quinn, hope he learned from his time away from being a head coach. You hope, Cliff learned a little bit about on the offensive side, as well. But this is a home run pick. And, we had talked a little bit about whether the Commanders made sense to trade back into the first round for a tackle. But once Amarius Mims went off the board, Jordan Morgan's the only other real
when Morgan went 25, I think
that's Jordan Morgan's was the only other true left tackle that was in the draft that was most likely a first rounder. So that was really the guy that they would have had to trade back in for. And honestly, we'll see what happens in day two, but I do think they're going to get a pretty good tackle at 36. And you can look at the list of guys who are there, and there's no guarantee that any of those guys after Mims was taken, whether it be Guyton or Jordan Morgan or I guess those are the two tackles. And then you look at kind of the other tackles that are on the board. No guarantee that those guys are going to be day one starters when they step in. And at that point, if they're not going to be a day one starter, I don't think you need to kind of give up that draft capital. So,
sorry, I think at 36, you might just get a guy you didn't think you could get, and it doesn't have to be tackled. Like I'm kind of at the point now with the tackles that are available, you just go BPA still. And if you can get Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid, who I like a lot, like
I think Cooper DeJean went in the first. Oh no, he didn't go. You're right.
No, he didn't. I don't think.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get some options with some guys that maybe you didn't think you could. The age thing, I feel like we've addressed. I think this is going to be kind of the new normal as we go forward with NIL and the transfer portal. I think guys are going to stick around. The fact that we saw Jayden at 23 and then Nix and Penix at 24 all go top 12.
Yeah.
Clearly the league isn't worried about these guys being 23 or 24. Maybe if you want to reach and say that that's an indictment on next year's quarterback draft class, fine. I don't really think so. But and then you said something in there. What's that?
the Penix pick is pretty interesting, being that he's the oldest of the group, and he's going to Atlanta, where he's going to ostensibly sit behind Kirk for at least a season and probably two. But
Penix is the oldest of the group and the one with the injuries, and he went top 10.
right, but I to your point, I think not just quarterbacks, but across the board, you're going to see older players coming into the draft and more developed players because of NIL and the money and everything that's happening in college right now. But go ahead, what were you about to say?
Well, you mentioned I mentioned Cliff, you mentioned Cliff, and the cynics or the skeptics or the naysayers will be like, well, they shouldn't make a pick based on Cliff because he'll be gone if it goes well. One, that's true. Okay, Cliff will probably have some options if this goes really well, but keep in mind a few things. Cliff's been a head coach. If this starts going really well, I'm sure they're paying Cliff quite well. He's not going to be in a hurry to just take any job out there. If this thing's cooking, maybe you cook, right? Like you chill. Also, I don't think I think the pick would have happened if it was Cliff or if it was somebody else at OC, right? Like I don't think Cliff was the determining factor, and they've got the system in place that I would think that can promote from within. They've got what 5 former quarterbacks on the offensive coaching staff.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
I don't think I think any OC would be excited to work with Jayden, and I think it's great that we think Cliff's system and Jayden could really coexist. But I also think Jayden, that LSU offense was fairly pro style anyway, and like it's more about the throws he can make, and just I mean when Peters talked about how he sucks the soul out of the defense was just such a good line, and it's true. The running ability is a total game changer, I think. But you're combining the running ability with a guy that's a pocket passer that can beat you fast with his reads and his progressions. And I think he's clearly a very intelligent player. I just think I don't know. Like, you know what? At 1:10 a.m. on draft night, the first round is not the time to temper expectations. And I don't think we need to. I think folks should be really, really freaking excited.
I mean, I've been excited watching him, watching what he does with his legs, watching what he does with his arm from the pocket, how he manipulates defenses with his eyes. But I think what I like most about him is that he is this electric runner, and you see him time and time again escape the pocket, and he's not looking to run first. He's looking downfield. He's looking to try and throw the ball, and then obviously will take off and run, if necessary. But you see so many guys, and to me that the big difference between two big differences between him and RG3 is his willingness to escape the pocket and throw downfield as opposed to looking to immediately run with his legs. And also the fact that RG3 didn't take a lot of big hits in college. And it maybe is a negative that Jayden took those big hits, but if it's a negative that he took the big hits, it's a positive that he got right up from them and it didn't affect him. And so, I am extremely excited about Jayden Daniels here in DC. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. I love, did you see his mom did the "Who Are We" left hand
Yeah,
up?
left hand up. I love it.
I mean, that's, like if you want to endear yourself to a fan base, that's pretty niche for mom to know about.
Magic's fired up. Magic said, "I'm so thrilled and excited to welcome Jayden Daniels to the Commanders family. I'm looking forward to all the wins we will celebrate this season and years to come with you as our leader. I know you'll lead our franchise not only as our quarterback, but also in the locker room in the DMV community." And dude, part of that, like, he's not coming in as a wide-eyed kid. Like he's seen a lot. I mean, the season he just put together at LSU, where the pressure is immense. I don't want to get into win totals or any of that stuff at this moment, but like, I think you'll see we saw a pretty dysfunctional offense last year, and really for the last couple of years. And ideally that is no longer the case. He's going to be a rookie quarterback. I'm not expecting like immediate, like I think let's not talk about CJ Stroud or something, but I don't know. I think it was the right pick. And to you and I who have, and you even more so than me, I mean, you've been all in on Jayden since like October, I want to say.
Yeah.
I thought he was the pick all along. I think he's supposed to be the pick. Drake May comes in number 3, and I think he's going to a kind of bad situation in New England. It was wild to see Penix go. I mean, Kirk's got to be furious. Kirk's agent had, a public comment. The best tweet was our guy Barstool Nate, who was like, when Kirk wakes up in the morning and reads this in the newspaper, he's going to be really frustrated. I just thought that was funny. I, I don't know. I think I think there's real reason to be excited, man. And I know
Yeah,
I feel like I sound like a broken record on that, but
I,
it's just the truth.
I think you also have to look at, Jayden Daniels is a guy that's going to step in and start right away. There's not really any question about who your day one starter is going to be, barring
I think
something.
everybody knew that when they signed Mariota.
Sure, you knew whoever they drafted was going to have to be that guy, but I mean, you already are hearing, with Drake May, are they gonna play our old friend Jacoby Brissett up there, for a couple of games. Penix, we already know is going to sit because he's behind Kirk there. JJ will probably JJ McCarthy got drafted into the perfect situation for JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
That I mean, like that kid should step in and cook right away because he's stepping into an offense that's pretty loaded at receiver and tight end and has all the weapons set up for him and is ready to go is ready to go. So I think when you look at all the lead up to this, all the back and forth, Drake, Jayden, JJ, whoever it may be, I think that ultimately they took the best football player in America. And if you're a Commanders fan, to me, it's mind blowing that you're not excited about seeing what this kid can do in the burgundy and gold.
Yeah, well, dude, I think JJ was number 2 on their board. Schefter kind
Yeah,
of said it. I'd kind of been hinting at that. That's kind of what I had thought for a while. I think for whatever, maybe it's the footwork, maybe I don't know. I know what my reservations are with Drake. I don't know what theirs are. And reservations is probably unfair in a draft that sees 6 QBs go top 12. Like clearly all these guys are talented and the league feels like they're good. I think you can make a real argument they got the best quarterback in the draft. I like Caleb. I think Caleb put together 2 years of really good tape with probably a year's worth of incredible tape. And I think Caleb has the stronger arm of the two. But I think Jayden this year was electric, honestly.
the Niners
And
reportedly were calling during the draft about possibly moving Brandon Ayuk. Josina Anderson tweeted just right now that Ayuk is on an Instagram live with Jayden Daniels. I think that
well, he said how close they are. I mean, Jayden said,
right.
um, of Ayuk, I talk to him 3-4 times a day, almost every day. So I lean on him a lot. And, he's done it at a high level for 4+ years. I don't think it's a guarantee they get Ayuk. I also saw maybe somebody from the Bay Area said that Debo seems to be the more likely trade candidate than Ayuk, which is interesting. And I don't think Debo's the right guy. Debo's just a gadget guy. And I don't know. Debo's a great player.
Yeah.
It's also, they've got the capital if they want to do that, if they want to do something. To me, the Ayuk thing hinges on the contract, right? Like you can pick up the 5th year and then extend him. You pick up the 5th year and then you extend him. You give him a 4-year fake, but it's really 2 at 25 per probably.
AJ Brown just
more.
got 3 years, 96 mil from the Eagles.
Yeah,
I don't know that
maybe
Ayuk is the same receiver as AJ Brown, but he's going to get somewhere. I would think he's going to get somewhere in that realm.
Yeah, and maybe it's, we'll see. Those will be really interesting things that'll kind of unfold here, and there's a lot of interesting stuff to come. They have a ton of capital, and when you have a ton of capital, you're in the right position. I've said this for months that the thing I'm most excited about is whoever the pick was, and now that it is Jayden, you have full organizational alignment at the game's most important position to develop a young rookie quarterback in Harris, Peters, Quinn, and now the player, right? And
yeah,
I thought Daniels. I mean, of course he's excited, but it just with Daniels and with Peters, everything seemed so sincere. Like nobody was selling anything. I think they were just telling the
excited.
truth. Yeah, dude. And I think, I mean, I don't know. We keep
Yeah.
saying the same thing
No,
over
I
and
know.
over.
I agree. I think that there are times that listen to players or coaches or GMs talk, and you're reading between the lines of what they're trying to tell you or sell you or whatever it may be. And I don't think that was the case. I mean, let's get to it. We'll lay everything out tomorrow, midday. The Commanders are going to have Jayden Daniels in Ashburn doing a press conference. The draft, the second and third rounds will be tomorrow night with Adam Peters talking afterwards. We'll have another pod for you at that point. But we
I
have
want to. How cool is this though, real quick, just for
yeah.
the DMV, right? Caleb goes 1, Fashanu goes 11, Chop Robinson, who went to QO, Quince Orchard, goes 21. Just what a cool night for our area. On top of, you know what I mean, getting the quarterback that I think we all thought was the right pick.
I mean,
Dude,
how cool is it that two dudes from Gonzaga go in the top 11?
it's unbelievable.
I believe
And
it's
like,
QO's first ever NFL draft pick, which is pretty damn cool for them. They've been a powerhouse in county football for a decade or so now. So
well,
it's
and
great for them.
guys who I value their opinion, like Cooley loves Daniels, Chris Sims loves Daniels. I just think the kid's a stud, man. And can he bulk up? Yeah, like of course. There's no perfect prospects, nothing's a guarantee. But I just I think it's a slam dunk, dude. I think it's a you know how I feel about Sean Kemp slam dunks. I think it's a Sean Kemp slam dunk. Um, just Chris Sims, real quick. Jayden Daniels' film shows a kid who really knows how to play the position, big enough to throw over the line of scrimmage and runs like a wide receiver, which combined with Washington spreading people out will really stress defenses out. He's the real deal, dude. He's the real deal. And Commanders fans should be ecstatic. I don't know what's going to happen with our guy Tress Way and the number. I bet they'll sort it out though, big man.
Yeah, I mean that's all gravy. They can figure all that out.
Yeah. All right.
Jayden,
What are we running?
Yeah, we're gonna go to Jayden and Jahan have been, longtime friends too, which is cool. They were tweeting back and forth at each other tonight as well. We're gonna start. Let's start with Jayden Daniels' availability with the local media here now, and then right after that will be Adam Peters' availability.
Cool. All right. We'll be back mañana, and make sure you watch the damn shows, dude. The draft special we did on Beltway Football was awesome. Being in the studio, got compliments from a lot of people. Looked great, and we nailed it.
Thank you to all the people that were tweeting us pictures, both to JP, myself, the Beltway Football Twitter and Instagram accounts. We saw a ton of those pictures. It was very cool to see you guys tuning in. So thank you.
Maybe there'll be more of that.
Maybe.
All right. Jayden now.
Jayden.
When you listen to this, pour yourself a drink. I don't care what time it is. It's reason to celebrate. All right.